Y'all are so close, and I felt so far from you. But I better have my notes. So this morning, as you might suspect, I adapted and edited what Allison read for us, because chapter 1 is really long. And I wanted to get this story of the angel Gabriel both to Zechariah and to Mary in one sermon. And to do that, we had to edit it and adapt it into the stiletto gospel. And so that's what we did, because I wanted to talk about the angel Gabriel, because so often I think the angel Gabriel gets second chair to the angel, the nameless angel, on Christmas Eve in Luke chapter 2. And I think the angel Gabriel has a huge part to play in the Christmas story. It seems to me that angel Gabriel most fully represents to us Emmanuel, God with us. He tells the story that God is present and active in the world and in the lives, individually, of Zechariah and Mary. He says to both of them, Emmanuel, God with us, is real. And the angel Gabriel helps them navigate what is coming in their lives. Now, we tend to think of the angels as Jenna, little Jenna, in a shiny costume and wings full of glitter, looking very angelic as Jenna does. But I wonder what Gabe must have looked like. Gabe and I are dear friends. I call him Gabe. Gabe must have looked like, because when Gabe shows up, what does he say? Don't be afraid. Nobody's afraid of Jenna. Nobody's afraid of that girl. Yeah, who could be afraid of her? She's precious. But the angel Gabriel, he shows up and says, don't be afraid. He must have been a scary dude. And then, trying to ease their anxiety, he introduces himself. Don't be afraid. And then he goes on and introduces himself as a messenger of God, a servant of the Most High, coming from heaven down to earth to share good news. He says to Zechariah, and Zechariah is the father of, good job, John the Baptist, right? So Zechariah comes, and he comes to tell Zechariah, you're going to have this baby. I know you're old, and I know Elizabeth is old, but you're going to have this baby. That's enough to say, don't be afraid, right? Right? I mean, that's enough for some of us to say, don't be afraid. Yeah, can I get an amen on that? And he says, I have been sent to speak to you and bring good news. Good news. And he says to Mary, greetings. The Lord is with you. Now, to me, both of those things feel like Gabe comes and says, Emmanuel, God with us, here and present, right now. Now, Gabe is one of my favorite characters in the pre-Christmas narrative, and here's why. Although to some people, he may seem as a celestial being more in the lines of a Star Wars movie than in a Christmas Jesus pageant, it seems to me that he is a real example for us, that we might find some ways to emulate Gabe the Christmas angel this year. As I said, Gabe simply says, I'm a servant of God, coming to share with you some good news, to prepare them. Gabe is sent to prepare both Zechariah and Mary for what God is doing, not only in the world, but for them individually. He shows up to help them through a time that must certainly be scary and uncertain, and a time when understanding how the future is unfolding is likely to be difficult. And ultimately, this messenger of the good news of Christmas is different from the angel in chapter 2 in a more personal way, right? The angel in Luke chapter 2 shows up to a whole mess of people and eventually gets joined by a whole lot of wingmen, right? To tell a whole big bunch of people, hey y'all, good news, there's a baby. Woohoo! But Gabe comes one-on-one. Gabe comes in a personal and intimate way to an individual in need of some good news. Gabe comes to walk alongside people in a situation where very few people are going to come and walk alongside a pregnant teenage mother in first century Judea. Who else does she have on her side but Emmanuel and Gabe the Christmas angel? And so as we lead up into the final days of Advent, and as we prepare for what is coming over the next week or so, here's what I'm wondering for us this week. I'm wondering how we each might find ourselves in situations where we might be Gabe the Christmas angel, Donna the Christmas angel, even Tom Cranshaw the Christmas angel, Jonathan Antle, the Christmas angel. Where are the places in our lives where we might show up in a personal, intimate, one-on-one situation and say, don't be afraid. Good news. Good news. God's beloved. A number of years ago, my friend and mentor, Scott Koglazier, was serving University Christian Church in Fort Worth, Texas. Over his dozen or so years there, he had more than doubled them in size, and they were the largest primarily Anglo, congregation in the denomination. And when Scott made the decision to leave University Church, it was a big deal. And it sent ripples all throughout the denomination. And not that preachers are gossipy but there was gossipy and blah, blah going on. Scott went to be the president at United Theological Seminary. And he was so excited. And in one of his books, he writes publicly that from his very first day as the president of United Theological Seminary, he knew he had made a horrible, horrible mistake. A horrible mistake. And he writes that I will always remember that Christmas as the year my life completely fell apart. Now, from the outside, right? Big steeple pastor, big presidency of a theological institution, shiny wings full of glitter. Be not afraid. He writes, yes, it was the year I will always remember as my life completely falling apart. But it was also the year, I quote, that I came to believe, really believe, in the power of Christmas. How did this happen? Because of Gabe the Christmas angel. Gabe the Christmas angel came to Scott. Actually, Chuck the Christmas angel came to Scott, a former Catholic priest named Chuck. Chuck was one person who came alongside when nobody else quite could come alongside and be present and real and say, don't be afraid. God is in this. Emmanuel is real. Chuck, the Christmas angel, helped Scott through this time that was scary and uncertain, a time when God was doing something significant, but Scott couldn't quite see how it was all unfolding. Chuck, the Christmas angel, came and walked non-judgmentally alongside him, offering honest counsel and unconditional loves, and with both his words and his actions, Chuck said time and again, the Lord is with you, be not afraid, there is good news. And even, and sometimes most especially, we know Christmas because Christmas happens on the edges. Christmas happens in the broken places. Christmas happens in a pregnant teenager. Christmas happens when Gabe the Christmas angel shows up and says, be not afraid. There's good news. Good news is coming. And as we close out these days of Advent and move towards the days of Christmas, it's my prayer for us that we're going to pay special attention to the people and the places where Jeannie the Christmas angel might show up, where Gary the Christmas angel might show up, and bring Emmanuel into the world. Lord knows that we need a few more Christmas angels, not just standing out saying joy to the world in big groups, but being intimate, being personal, listening, sharing a word of hope and peace and love. Where might the Christmas angel need to show up when things look like they are pretty and shiny and full of glitter and goodness, but really aren't? Lord knows there are plenty of those places all around us. And it seems to me that if we really commit ourselves over the next couple of weeks to being the Christmas angels of God, that we are, like Gabe, coming down, bringing a bit of the presence of the holy into ordinary, everyday situations. And of course, you may know me well enough to know that I think all of it is holy. There isn't this separation between the holy and the secular. For heaven's sakes, this guy plays Cyndi Lauper in worship and makes it holy. And makes it holy. It's all holy. God is in it all. Big kids, little kids, in-between size kids, ornery kids of all shapes and sizes. God is in that. There's no secular over here and sacred over here. God is in it all. And sometimes we just need Gabe the Christmas angel to show up and point it out to us. Now here I'm going to help you a little bit, understand, and carry something out. And I'm going to put this on our Facebook page and we'll email it out in the morning because you all do not have this printed. But at the 8:30 service, Tim and I tried to have Christmas music Sunday too. We weren't going to have a big fancy cantata with a bunch of brass instruments. However, Tim and I took a great Christmas carol that is quite secular, that I can't recall ever having sung in church, and put a little Gabe the Christmas angel into it. And that's what we're going to sing this morning. So, Deck the Halls. You ever sung it in church before? We're going to sing Deck the Halls. Because everybody loves that song, right? Fa la 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 la. But that's really all we know, right? Most of you only know fa la 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 la. So we rewrote the words a little bit, maybe with the help of a couple of small Steitz children. So to help you carry a little bit of the sacred out into the secular, we're going to sing fa la 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 with Gabe the Christmas Angel words. All right? Now you can't sing fa la 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 sitting down. So you got to stand. And we have transferred them onto the screens. But I will get you the lyrics later. I'll have them up on Facebook later this afternoon, and we'll get them out in an email tomorrow, because some of you have already, because some of the 8:35, can we have this to share? Yes, we can have this to share. I don't know if this is legal. I hope so. Maybe. Is this legal? Maybe no. He's not going to answer me. That's maybe scary. Well, forgiven. Yes, sometimes it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission, right? Okay, so this is not hard. This is just taking what we've done with the first Noel, right? With the doxology, okay?
Just don't offer it for sale.
That's right, don't offer it for sale. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to have a little fun with fa la 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 la, and we are going to have Christmas music Sunday, even without the brass, okay? All right, here we go, Jonathan. Deck the halls, the Lord is coming, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season for rejoicing, fa la 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 la. Sing together, all God's people, fa la 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 la. Celebrate the birth of Jesus, fa la 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 la. Second verse. Da da da, count the wreath, fa la 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 la. One for hope and one for peace, fa la 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 la. Angels of God's joy shall sing, fa la 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 la. Alleluia, hearts now ring, fa la 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 la. Verse 3. We will tell the Christmas story, fa la 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 la. Singing of God's love and glory, fa la 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 la. The light of Jesus' love, fa la 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 la. The earth and up above, fa la 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 la. So that was your, good job, well done. That was your installation as Christmas angels. You may be seated. Christmas angels. Christmas happens when Emmanuel shows up. And we help do that each and every year. When we bring Jesus into the world, when we are Gabe the Christmas angel, don't be afraid. There is good news. God's beloved. That's the way Christmas happens. May it be so. May it be so for us. Amen.